All right, we continue with Aaron Nesmith on Finals Media Day here on NBA TV.
Working best for you guys?
Just playing patient basketball and, playing 15 men deep, just playing fast, playing free, playing our brand of ball.
What are you going to take on to the finals? Just keep doing the same thing, or are you going to change it up?
Continue to play patient basketball. That's what's got us here. I think that's what's going to help us succeed in the finals, and that's what we're going to have to do.
And last one from last year, the conference finals, this year's final. What did you learn from last year to take on to this season?
I think we just learned how hard it is to get here and not taking being in this position for granted. And understanding, most guys don't play this long into the season, into the year. So just having our bodies right, our legs underneath us, I think it was very helpful.
And what else you guys have got to the finals, your balanced attack, how critical would that be for you guys beginning tomorrow in this series against the Thunder?
I just said, I think that's just who we are. It's our identity, playing patient basketball, and I think that's a big part of it. So, it's going to be on us to make sure we continue to do that here.
And besides game plan, what's the big difference in the approach you guys are having for the finals rather than the first rounds of the playoffs?
I said we're just playing patient basketball. We're going to play our brand of basketball. We're worried about us and, playing our game and going to let that carry us through.
Can you walk us through what it took to get your ankle ready between you and Simon, all that work that it took?
It took a lot, man. It was pretty much rehab every minute of that day. So it was cold tub, game ready, hyperbaric chambers. It was red light therapy. It was manual leg or shockwave. It was anything you can name. We kind of threw it at the ankle, but there was no chance I was missing that game.
How huge were these few days to allow it for it to get even better?
I needed them. Yeah, I was looking forward to these days off. I took them, and I'll be ready.
Pascal obviously had that great run with the Raptors in 2019 in the finals. What advice has he relayed to you guys, if anything, about how this week is maybe a little different, how to approach it?
He's been a constant presence in our locker room, a constant leader in our locker room, and he's done a good job of just, keeping us all level-headed and our eyes on the prize.
A lot of folks, media people, picking the Thunder. You guys appear to be the underdog. How much do you relish that, and just folks going up against you guys? How much do you relish that going into this match?
We enjoy it. I think everybody in our locker room, our staff, we enjoy being the underdogs. I mean, we've been the underdogs since I've gotten here for the last 3 years. Every game in the playoffs, I felt like nobody wanted us to win. We're here, and nothing's new, and we're going to attack it with the same mindset.
And when you're watching,
Ben Mathurin really woke up during the Knicks series. The dude, his instant offense was a valuable piece in taking down New York, getting Indiana to this spot. Let's go over back to Stephanie, who's with Mathurin.
Okay, we have to start with a non-basketball question. I understand you guys had some delays in your travel to get to Oklahoma City. What was that like while you were waiting and then had to get diverted to Tulsa?
To be honest, I was asleep. I was asleep most of the time, but as soon as we knew that we had to take a turn, you just take into consideration that we were able to make it safely.
I love that. Sleeping through it is probably the best option. I'm sure your teammates were a little jealous, the ones that were awake. So with that being said, you get to Oklahoma, and obviously this is what you all have been working all season to get to. What are your thoughts on the journey that this team has taken, specifically on the defensive end?
Sure, I think we've made a lot of progress. I think it hasn't been easy the whole time, but as a team we were able to adjust super quick, and I think that was our biggest advantage. And I think we've been doing a good job, as far as lately, and we have to keep it going.
Coach Carlisle has a ton of experience, obviously. I mean, he's a champion, right, as a player and as a coach. What does that mean to the locker room?
It means a lot. He's been through a lot of scenarios. He's been through it all. So, having him as our coach is definitely meaningful. And I think that everybody's locked into buying into winning the whole thing. And I feel like it is a dream come true, but it's also a job that we have to accomplish.
The two teams playing are similar in this regard. You both like to play fast, and you both now are tremendous defensive teams. How do you approach this series knowing that you want to play up and down, but you can't turn the ball over? How do you play within yourself and not let them take advantage of that?
It's a great question. I think we just have to be ourselves. We're going out there playing the way that we play, which is playing fast but taking care of the ball. And, making the right plays. I feel like that's what the game is going to come to, and we just got to keep our edge on defense and winning the games.
Something else that you all have that's similar is bench play. Both teams have great scoring off the bench. How important is it that you guys trust each other so much that there's very little drop-off?
Sure. I think that we have to, get into the game with the right mindset. No one can get the job done by themselves. So it's all about, the team and just going out there and trying to help the team win. And staying within the team.
Now, when you look at this series against OKC, what does a successful outing look like for the Pacers? What do you have to do where you're like, okay, we're on the right track here?
We just got to maintain. Obviously they have the MVP. They have a great player in Shea. So just trying to slow him down. So slow him down as much as we can. And like I said, if we play our game, if we play the way that Pacers basketball is playing and has played the whole season, then, the rest should take care of itself.
Thank you so much for stopping. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's Ben Mathurin in what should be, again, a fascinating series between two very good young teams. All right, Obi Toppin and the Indiana Pacers, 12-4 throughout these playoffs. Actually, both teams 12-4 throughout the playoffs. From everything we heard from coaches and from the guys on the court, Thomas Bryant right there.
Making big shots at Eastern Conference Final, made some big threes.
Both teams very even keel right now, heading into Thursday and game one back with 3D, who's not dressed up, shockingly.
Oh, we got to behave. We're back to normal. All
right. So let's get into your keys for this series, right? Because, again, basketball-wise, like Rick Carlisle had mentioned, forget all the talk about the markets. Basketball-wise, this could be really, really great.
Yes, I'll say it again. If you're a basketball lover, this will be one of your favorite series because both teams go deep into their bench. It's not worried about 4 or 5 guys. So that being said, tempo is going to be crucial because both teams like to play fast, but pace, pun intended for the Pacers, they want to play really fast. So which team takes better care of the ball because both teams play solid defense to turn you over, get out and run. Number 2, extra possessions. Which big guys can really control the paint to rebound offensively? Defensive rebounds, they are what they are, but offensive rebounds are going to be really key to get those extra possessions, those 3-point shots at the rebounds, break your back. And last but not least, we've been talking about it all season long. The X factor is which bench will control the points. Because each bench is a little different. One bench plays defense, one bench shoots a few more threes. Which bench in total points, I think, really will be the X factor in this series.
All right, I got a couple for you here. Those are great points right there. As far as the three-pointer, I think that is going to be critical in this series because Indiana's been the best at it in these playoffs. OKC, not so great. The math, that works in their favor for Indiana.
Yes, that's why I went with the offensive rebound and being the X factor. That's where the Thunder kill you. When Hartenstein and Chet get rebounds, they're throwing it out. When is Caruso getting that big three? How does, Dort make those threes he was making in the previous series? Those type of guys have to continue to make those shots because they will present themselves when these 3 keys kick in.
We talked about Tyrese Halliburton and the challenges he's going to have with all the defenders coming at him. But what do they do with SGA?
Well, I think Rick Carlisle will take a page out of what he did in the Knicks series. He's going through multiple bodies. And you and I just talked about it. We know SGA is a solid defender, but they're going to try to wear him down because you have 3 or 4 bodies you can bring off the bench to pick him up full court from game 1. I look for Rick Carlisle to do that.
Season series, he had 78 points over 2 games. Again, that is during the season series, regular season, where no Chet. They didn't have a Chet.
They didn't have Chet. And also, Halliburton, I know you're saying 1 game you don't shoot, 1 game you pass too much. I don't want no 2 or 7. I need an aggressive Halliburton from day 1 and possession 1.
All right. What are you thinking here, prediction-wise?
I'm sticking to my guns with OKC, but I think this series is long, 6 or 7. So all you people picking 4 and 5, I don't know what y'all talking about. This is going to be a long, fun series.
7 would be amazing.
Yes.
7 would be amazing. Game 1 going tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern, NBA TV, all over it. 6 Eastern. We'll see you then.